A short time ago, we pondered some of the allegedly non-lethal options in games that, when you think about it, were about as non-lethal as a skinny dip in a shark tank. Everyone in the comments of that video went on to add their fabulously lethal, non-lethal takedowns, so now's the time to see what they had to share in the category of dubiously conscience-sparing, supposedly lighter alternatives to murder, or as we like to call them, I can't believe it's not murder. All the great murder taste, none of the murder calories. So strap yourself in for some of our commenters' favourites and beware spoilers for the following.
We didn't include Deus Ex Human Revolution on our previous list because we were concerned that the non-lethal takedowns weren't lethal enough, but you guys let us know we needn't have worried. Around 90% of people who commented on the video pointed out that actually yes, getting punched in the skull with augmented metal arms would probably kill you. At least he has the courtesy to tap them on the shoulder first. Commenter Valewind Marcus put it best though, pointing out that those same metal arms can make light work of concrete cinder blocks. What about Adam Jensen's non-lethal takedowns? He punches people with arms that can reduce concrete to dust. That's got to have broken a few necks. Yes, if you're trying to do a deeply moral, non-lethal playthrough of the excellent Deus Ex Human Revolution, you can't help but wonder how many hapless guards would have died from injuries inflicted by Adam's powerful cybernetic right hook. Oof. There is, however, a solution to this problem. Get someone with regular arms to punch them instead. That's using your metal head. Also, so is this from sequel Deus Ex Mankind Divided. Yikes, Adam, did you see that guy's pointy helmet? We'll call that one a draw. Ow.
You don't mind if I tag along, right? Just to keep an old man safe. One last thing. I found something for you. I know you collect these. I'll be on the rooftops till you need me.
In the previous video about non-lethal alternatives to killing, we mentioned the unfortunate fate of Dishonored's High Overseer Campbell, who almost certainly died from the rat plague thanks to Corvo. But it turns out Dowd from Dishonored DLC Knife of Dunwall has a similarly casual approach to non-lethality, in particular during the mission A Captain of Industry. Your target is Bundry Rothwild, who, like so many of the targets in Dishonored games, probably deserves what's coming to him.
Choke on your own spit.
Really, Rothwild, that kind of sass is not a good idea when you're strapped to an electric chair. After you've extracted intel from Rothwild, you can either gut him like one of the whales in his slaughterhouse, or, as commenter Justin Helms suggests, you can go for the non-lethal option, which is to nail him in a crate and ship him off to the farthest corner of the Empire.
Sir, earlier I spotted crates bound for the most remote corner of the Empire. Might be worth stuffing him in one.
Dishonored, Knife of Dunwall, Rothwild. You can throw him into a crate and send him off to a faraway island. No food, no water. Dowd's companion Billy Lurk makes a point of saying that the journey inside the crate is survivable, but to be honest, it sounds more like she's trying to justify it to herself.
Survivable, if they had a fast ship.
Yeah, well, I mean, a helicopter crash is also technically survivable, but doesn't mean I'd rate your chances. Still, if it's a choice between probably kill him or definitely kill him, I guess we'll have to go with probably kill him. Sorry, buddy.
You know you can just leave him in the chair, right?
Oh, what?
Gotcha. How you like that?
The Mortal Kombat series is legendary for its fatalities, which are a very final way to end a martial arts bout.
Finish him.
So it's not the point-scoring 3 judges kind of martial arts match then. Good, glad we sorted that. Also, can someone notify that guy's next of kin? The Mortal Kombat reboot in 2011 introduced a move that was just as spectacular as a fatality, but was crucially non-lethal, so it could be deployed in the middle of a fight for a huge amount of damage. And when I say crucially non-lethal, I mean excruciatingly lethal. It was commenter Takudzwa who brought this glaring oversight to our attention, saying, "You forgot to mention all the X-ray moves in MK9 and MKX." Most of the X-ray moves focus on smashing your opponent's skeletons until they resemble crazy paving, but it could, I suppose, be argued that having a shattered skull with bits of your brain hanging out the front is a survivable injury. I mean, you wouldn't be finishing the fight though and walking home, put it that way. It's Kitana's X-ray move though that's the most transparently deadly, as she jams her two-bladed hand fans first into the back of her opponent's head, then into the front through their eye sockets. Get up. Do you reckon she ever uses those to actually cool down?
KO. You win.
Now, we don't want to call Yoshimitsu from Tekken a cheat, but I noticed that no one else brought a giant samurai sword to the first King of Iron Fist tournament. Was the King of Steel Blade tournament all full up, Yoshimitsu? Sure. If you're familiar with the rules of the Tekken games, you'll know that all you have to do to win a round is to knock your opponent out, something that can be achieved simply by smashing their head on your knee.
You win.
Or, kicking them in the leg.
KO.
Maybe he was already feeling a bit woozy. Yoshimitsu, though, has to take things too far, as commenter Mikkel points out. What about Yoshimitsu from Tekken? He can stab people with a sword and somehow they survive. Yoshimitsu's standard hacks and slashes are one thing, but buy yourself enough time to wind up and you can perform his unblockable sword thrust, where he runs his opponent through.
You win.
Ooh, I dread to think how many internal organs that just pierced. Still, by Tekken 2, he must be pretty confident in its non-lethality, given that he's happy to do it to himself.
Double KO.
It wasn't until Tekken 6 that everyone else was permitted to bring a weapon into battle, finally levelling the playing field. Somewhat. Wait, 2 swords? Seriously?
2 guys. I got the one on the right. You ready?
Ready, go.
Good job.
Okay, I'm gonna deploy the drone and see what's up ahead.
The Spec Ops unit you play as in Ghost Recon Wildlands is known as the Ghosts, thanks in part to their ability to strike quickly, silently, and invisibly. Although, as commenter Cooper Johnson points out, not always non-lethally. As they say, what about in Wildlands when you knock out people by snapping their necks? The special covert tactic Cooper is referring to here is when one of your Ghost Recon Wildmans sneaks up on an unwary enemy and is presented with the prompt to render them unconscious. Obviously, being a highly trained stealth infiltrator, knocking the bad guys out seems like a great idea. It's silent, they're out of the picture, and you don't leave behind a huge body count that your government has to unconvincingly disavow further down the line. It's win-win. Or it would be if the ghosts knew what knockout means. Here's an example of one of the ghosts knocking someone out.
Many years now, and I've always known that he has a special gift.
Seems to me, ghosts, that when you move someone's neck like that, and it makes a crunch like that they're a bit more than knocked out. Yeah, unless he was storing a bag of potato chips in his collar, that guy is dead. Are you sure the button prompt wasn't supposed to say knock off instead of knock out? That would explain a lot.
Of all the times to get squeamish about taking an enemy's life, the end of Mass Effect 1 is the worst. You finally chase down Saren Arturius, the Turian Spectre jackass who betrayed all of galactic civilization, and for what? To get in the good books of a race of mechanical space monsters and a free hoverboard. Clearly, he deserves the business end of your katana shotgun right in his mandibles? Let's say mandibles.
I was afraid you wouldn't make it in time, Shepard.
In time for what?
The final confrontation.
But if you're determined to be all virtuous and paragon up until the very end, and you've sunk enough points into your ability to charm your way out of trouble, you can sweet talk Saren into peacefully backing down from a climactic brawl here in the Mass Effect 1 finale.
The Reapers are too powerful.
Some part of you must still realize this is wrong. You can fight this.
Maybe you're right.
However, the actual outcome of this supposedly non-lethal Paragon interaction is, as commenter DRD444 observes, talking Saren out of fighting at the end of Mass Effect 1, but then he just shoots himself in the head.
It's not over yet. You can still redeem yourself.
Goodbye, Shepard. Thank you.
No thank you, Saren. You've just spared my conscience and a whole bunch of ammo. If anyone asks, his final words were, "I want Shepard to have my hoverboard."
You think Monster Hunter's all about killing monsters? Nuh-uh. The word hunter doesn't necessarily mean killer, you know. Granted, most people will merrily hack away at these majestic creatures with a katana that's taller than they are, and then plunge a knife into them to carve out slabs of raw meat, turning one of nature's greatest creations into a delicious mixed barbecue platter. If you're wondering who the real monster here is, it's the one with barbecue sauce all over its face. There is another, altogether more animal-friendly way. If you weaken a creature enough, catch it in a trap, and then bean it with tranquilizer bombs, you'll complete the mission without having to kill this noble beast. I mean, yes, you'll still have slashed it up good and proper with a massive sword, but you won't have killed it. These things make a real difference if you're, say, being sentenced for animal cruelty. There is a slight problem though that might still get you into hot water with PETA, as commenter the Ruby King 2014 points out. In Monster Hunter you have the option to capture a monster instead of killing it, but you still get bones and sometimes even organs in the reward box for some reason. Bones and organs? Man, yeah, it's really difficult to remove an animal's bones and organs, put them in a box, and keep the thing alive. Not sure how I'm going to rationalise this one to my vegan friends. I've got it. It's entirely possible to live without bones and organs. You just need to be a jellyfish. Easy.
So those were some of your suggestions for the most lethal, non-lethal takedowns in video games. But before you go, we've got some more videos for you to watch. There's one up here from us. You should click on that. And down here is another video from Outside Extra, our sister channel. And the guards guarding the studio who I knocked out at the start of this video, they should be coming around right about now. Oh, no, he's not. It's actually, he was rendered unconscious. No, I think you'll find I choked him unconscious.
No pulse.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's non-lethal, so. Are you a doctor? Didn't think so.